Welcome back, everybody. We are here at Lal Park for the last match of the LCK Round 1. And yes, you heard that right. It is the last match indeed, as the LCK is sabotaged by coronavirus, unfortunately. And I'm here with LS, aka LCK Sabotage. So how are you doing today with your gloves? Are they feeling good today? Are they protecting you from the virus?
Well, you know what, Valdez?
Yeah?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Is that what they say?
Yeah, I just communicated it.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. But yeah, we got one match today. It's going to be a short day. We do not have any break in the middle. It's going to be kind of interesting. I don't know if we've ever really done this before at the LCK. I mean, we've done best of fives.
You can have best of fives that end in 3 games. I guess that's
that's about the closest.
You can have an SKT versus Griffin finals.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
might end faster than a 2-0. You know.
Could happen multiple times even. As we're going to take a look at these standings here. Speaking of what's going on at the LCK, Gen G finish off at the top, 8-1. As you see, kind of we're rounding out the results here for round 1. It might be something that you guys may not have paid attention to so far, but the LCK is split into 2 rounds, 2 round robins even, where each team plays every other team once, and then they do it again for the second round. So that's why we have 9 games at the end of today for everybody. The only teams that have to do it so far are KT and Griffin, which will be the match today. We're going to take a look at the points of the match between these 2 teams.
Well, last match of Spring Round 1, the match to decide the standings. Who will laugh the last laps? I like that.
Who laughed the first laugh?
Ooh.
Who was the first laugh ever?
Who was the first laugh ever?
Are you trying to get there?
I'm trying to find it, actually.
The first laugh.
The first laugh was T1.
Yeah, they laughed the first laugh of the LCK 2020. And
Griffin lost 4 series in a row. They are 8th.
Yes.
Currently.
And they're going up against a team that has won 3 series in a row, which is KT. So if you're a kind of guy that likes streaks, you might vote for KT in this scenario. So it'll be interesting to see. I feel like Kuro as well is really coming into his own in the mid lane there for KT and becoming a leader, and has really turned things around for that team alongside all of his teammates. As now we're going to take a look at some of the team stats between these 2 teams. You can see that they have the same win rate with the gold lead at 20, but a gold lead at 20 has come much less often for Griffin.
Yeah, Griffin are pretty consistently behind, it seems. As KDA as well, one of the worst in the league, team damage per minute. They are 10th. However, they only deal about 11 less damage a minute than that of KT.
Oh, great. That means that KT must have the lead.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to show off my math skills or anything right there.
I mean, that's impressive for us NA boys. You gotta give us every bone that you can, even if it's just adding 11. As we're gonna take a look at the highlights here in just a moment for the last time these teams did play. But pretty interesting stuff here, I feel like. Even KT, even though they're doing better recently, still have to get some of those numbers up, especially the team damage per minute, I suppose. Pretty good in terms of team gold difference at 20. I mean, they're 4th in the entire LCK, so that includes every other team. Even after they lost the first 5 games, or first 5 matches of their 2020 careers, so pretty interesting stuff to see there from KT.
And Griffin has really just been struggling to find their stride. They have pretty peculiar drafts as well, which some teams in the LCK really do. KT, obviously, they've been on the up and up, which I think is so surprising. And I think that the morale boost that they've been getting in recent weeks have probably been contributing to that. As we take a look at the highlights here, Chobi super flexing Tarzan, but ended up breaking his own neck on that one.
Yeah, I mean, didn't look like too much of a highlight, but kind of a messy play there. Nice 2-on-1 here out of Iroh teleporting into the top lane.
Let's not mention what the gold deficit was.
No, that's why we hide those numbers for these highlights. Although there are a couple of numbers that tell a bit of the story, 2-0.
Actually performed the best, I think, out of all the Griffin members in their last series.
Yeah, which leads you to, consider, was it Sword popping off, or is just as a whole the team of Griffin kind of falling by the wayside, somewhat dejected so far? Whereas KT are taking the total opposite approach, and they lose 5 games in a row, and they decide, hey guys, we're going to turn our season around. And they've been very proactive, aggressive when it comes to it, and it said down there the power of kingtivity. I'm not sure exactly what they're referring to there, but Sohan, even on the cannon, looked pretty nice, was getting things engaged, and as a team, they're playing really well, but also have to shout out aiming. He's played a bunch of games of Ezreal recently and has looked really impressive in the AD carry role.
And Tempt, this was Tushen. This was the bear.
Yeah, there are a lot of bears in the world, but this one is special. It was the bear, as we got some nice stats here, some good underlines with the red marker. As I was mentioning, aiming is he's really popping off nowadays. He's first in damage percentage, damage at 15, kill participation. The guy is everywhere. He's played a lot of Ezreal, so of course those damage numbers are going to be high. It's a lot of what we saw last year, where Ezreal was even more busted, and he was just getting double the damage sometimes of the next player, but the numbers don't tell the whole story. You got to see his play recently. He's really been popping off up against Viper, who, yeah, he's got some pretty good stats, but as a whole, he hasn't been able to carry his team just yet from the AD carry role.
Well, I think that Viper versus aiming is going to be really interesting. Viper is struggling quite a bit, whereas aiming is really the saving grace for KT in so many games that they've been playing. We'll see what champions he'll have the ability to get his hands on today, as they're going to be on the red side. So that should favor KT in the current meta. VR here, seeing that nothing out of the ordinary, still no Naehyun. Starting up in top lane, which is always a bit of a head scratcher for me.
Yeah, Sword is going to retain his starting role. Nothing changes there on the side of Griffin. And on the side of KT, it is going to be the lineup you have come to expect. I hope to see more Volibear, some more Ezreal out of aiming. That would absolutely float my boat, as we'll see exactly what they do want to play. Kuro is also another guy that was bringing out the hot LeBlanc, the LeBlanc that was on that massive streak of 9 games in a row. But recently, it did take a couple. It has a couple of losses.
And
We're
remember,
all sad
Valdez,
over here.
this is the last series. So if LeBlanc does retain her 95% pick or ban rate, she will be nerfed. The Riot Bout, no, that's an actual thing.
What?
So during the cast, Atlas suggested that I reach out to the balance team and asked if it's per region, or can only one region actually cause it to happen. So I got the answer that if LeBlanc does stay at 95% in the LCK, pick or ban status, she will be nerfed. So
but that doesn't make any sense. Like,
no, that's Riot's new policy. If a champion...
Yeah, but that policy is bad.
What? Valdez! Who are those guys coming
up
the steps?
Straight up. Oh no. Oh no! I was able to wrestle them off. Yeah. But yeah, I don't agree with that at all. But interesting idea for sure. As we are gonna get into pick and ban. Oh boy. Well, we don't see Ornn too much anymore. Although we did see a bunch,
there she is. She's
bunch
banned.
yesterday. Yeah, she's banned again. Oh no.
This is all a cruel ploy to take down Faker. This is what
This
it
is
is.
ridiculous.
All the pro
That's what
players
it
are
is.
in on it. I was actually thinking last night about how abusable this would be if you could just rally all the pro teams behind it. You just get one
The
champion.
collusion.
Yes.
Oh,
you just
man.
get one champion permanently nerfed.
Yeah. This one player on the best team is too good at this, so we have to all band together and just keep banning her. And, yeah, then we'll never
Just
see her
imagine.
again after she gets nerfed.
Like 10 patches in a row, all pro teams just agree to keep banning Teemo. He just keeps getting nerfed.
It keeps getting worse and worse.
All right, Griffin, Jarvan, LeBlanc, Olaf.
They just demote him to an actual ward. They take
Yeah.
the champion out of the game.
Well, let's take a look. Ornn was banned away, Aphelios as well. Senna is left open, and I feel like this is a little ridiculous that she doesn't get first picked. I think that non-farming, or they call it fasting Senna, right?
Yes.
Fasting Senna is probably 0 tier. I think that she's
Yes,
just too
she
strong.
is.
She is.
I mean, just the interaction with her kit. With any champion, as you have pointed out, it's not just Tom Kens for safety. We saw her with the Volibear, right, where she became the real AD carry, and then we swapped Aatrox into the support role. I mean, it's too strong for sure, and they're gonna wait on picking that support. I suppose we could see Elise support, but it's been a while.
So, Senna is... Now, the reason that I'm calling her 0 tier is because it means that she's basically by herself.
Yeah, it's
Where
like God tier.
Aphelios, right, Aphelios is tier 1 AD carry, MF is tier 1 AD carry, but slightly below Aphelios. And Senna, I think that due to that flexibility and just how she can conduct herself, is really just ahead of the pack. Now, that might be a lethality Varus paired with the Karma. We have seen that be an answer, but Ezreal now coming out, and this is nice. We're seeing a potential evolution, although this is a pivot, which is one of the strengths of Senna,
Yep.
and that she can just go support.
Yeah,
So-
you try to counter her out in the fasting role, and you're like, well, actually, she's playing support and aiming. Surprise, surprise, is going to play Ezreal. I think we probably could have called that one. She's played a lot in recent times. Really racked up the kills.
So now the ban's coming in. Nautilus banned away. They're respecting the fact that the Karma is able to be pivoted and flexed into a different position in order to maybe try to get a better matchup here against the Ezreal Senna. And we'll see what the next ban, the Renekton banned away in isolation against the set. There's so many other problematic champions for the set, but I suppose that they're respecting the Elise is also present there. I don't think that we'll see a Pantheon, but I think it's something that if this were another region, I think we could probably consider in the draft phase to be paired with the Elise. As Aatrox, the Sinners are just getting clapped.
Yeah. No more Sinners here on the board.
Yeah.
No Olaf got taken away the Renekton.
Olaf is the walking Inter
Yeah.
amongst the Saints and Sinners.
Yeah, he has his own little role. As you were talking about Pantheon, we saw Kled there for a second.
Oh.
I feel like Kennen is... Oh, okay. He's actually going to swap to the Gnar. And they're expecting to go up against the set, so he was picking for that matchup. And we've seen this before, this exact matchup, and it really hasn't looked that amazing. So we'll see if... I was actually getting excited for the Kennen pick because we saw even in the highlights, Zoan can play a pretty nice Kennen, but the Gnar just kind of leaves me a little bit disappointed.
Well, Talia now being locked in for Griffin. That could just be the Talia for UCal. Pantheon might appear on the enemy team. And this is really, really strong. This
Talia
is a
Pantheon.
very strong combo. Talia Pantheon sees the Elise Renekton check raises it.
Yeah.
And that's what's going on here. As it quite literally just does what it does, but better.
Yeah.
Scales a lot better. Now, the Azir coming in potentially for Kuro, and it will, as a means to try to answer this. Now, the interesting thing is that Taliyah can go jungle, Pantheon can go mid, or Pantheon goes jungle, Taliyah goes mid, which would actually be a lot safer against the Azir. And when we're thinking about a low economy, the Pantheon would probably function a lot better on low economy against this KT team composition than a Taliyah would. So, we'll see if Griffin ends up actually sending the Taliyah into mid lane, or maybe they want to keep it in the jungle so that they don't incentivize any magic resistance to be purchased by KT. That way Taliyah is able to remain more relevant on a lower economy. And that is what is going to be the case, as both coaches now going to walk off stage.
Yeah. I don't know, they're getting a little bit close there. He almost touched him with his hand. I don't know, that's like a violation of our
yeah. Might have to have
of our Corona practices that we have here. You're not supposed to shake hands or anything like that. But obviously, jokes aside, good friends are the coaches. We'll see which one will come ahead at the end of this one. Interesting to see the Avengers come in here right at the end, the Taliyah Pantheon, the duo. Not in the bottom lane, but returning to the Rift together. And Kuro looking to carry alongside his AD carry, aiming with the Ezreal and the Azir comp. A nice amount of pick with this comp and a decent amount of poke alongside of it. And a couple of champions that Kuro and aiming are really, really comfortable on. So from my stance, I feel like they're feeling pretty good about the way the draft went, as we are going to hop on to the Rift here for the last match, guys, of the LCK. For now, it is being put on hiatus. If you're just joining us now, unfortunately, because of coronavirus, they decided to end it here, or pause it here, I should say, halfway through the spring split.
So the thing going on here is Viper, he has the Comet, and we saw, I believe, Def do this as well. And the thing about Comet is that in mid and late game, you're solely picking it for early game dominance and early game pressure, because in the later stages of the game, he even has the Scorch as well.
Yeah,
so
just
this
to
is
add to it.
Solely for lane kingdom. But in the later stages of the game, lethal tempo will end up doing more because it covers more ranges, and it allows Varus more options. Because once champions start having tier 2 boots, unless you have CC going on, Comet's never landing. So the rune almost ends up falling off completely.
Karma has it too.
Double Scorch, double Comet. This is designed to beat up Ezreal and Senna.
Yeah. That's really the concoction they've come up with here. They threw a couple of ingredients together. This is going to be the answer.
The cleanest of leashes, actually. They're not going to actually miss any CS. Nice little dodge right there, coming down into bot lane. I do quite like this Varus skin, by the way. Just want to throw that out there for you, Belvis.
Yeah, you're a fan?
I am a bit of a fan.
Oh,
Okay, level 2.
They're already getting in here. Tucson's dead. And they knew that the invade was coming in. I don't know why Tucson was so far down the lane. But they're going to get caught out there big time. And, well, they're actually going to clear out those minions there. I feel like they could have put out a mini freeze, yeah.
And their whole thing is that they're a poke.
Yeah,
composition.
You just zone them out from there.
You zone them out and you freeze.
And the game is over in the bottom lane. But instead, they're going to look to push.
You just don't get it, Valdez. They need to push them under the turret so they can poke. Yeah, take a look at this.
He's not seen.
What?
How is he not seen on that ward?
Wait, what?
He wasn't seen. And that's why he was playing so up and so forward. So initially, I was just like, oh.
Is it a bug?
It was a mistake, but actually
What?
I don't know. That just looks really
like
weird.
It tore the wall.
Yeah. That looks really weird. I don't know. That's
what has
something.
Taliyah been eating?
I don't know. She's really a lot thinner than we expected as Tucson almost dies. And imagine how much better this could have been with the freeze denying XP at the same time. But we're not going to go over that too much. We'll see if they can return to the bottom side. Obviously, if Pantheon hits 6, then diving turrets might be more of a nice little play as Tucson is nearly going to die again. Tarzan a little bit late to the Scuttle Crab, so that is going to go the way of Bono. Definitely trying to gain vision and help out the bottom lane here.
So what's happening right now in this game is mostly that the Bono, he's not able to really find anything. I mean, he's almost even on camps with the Elite, or with the Talia. His lanes don't have any setup for him. So the Elise is very off-theme with the Gnar, with the Azir, with the Ezreal, and the Senna. You really start to look at this and wonder, well, why is she here? What is she really adding? It's not even like Elise gets to scale, because you have an Azir and an Ezreal in the team, so there is magic damage on the side of the enemy team composition, which, you know, UCal is going to be taking magic resistance runes as well, which is going to hurt and slow down everything a little bit. So this is one of those times where you look at the Elise pick and you wonder, well, not really achieving all that much.
Yeah, especially once you see the entire composition. Remember, Elise was picked second after Senna, and I feel like teams in the LCK, they value it so high, that Elise pick. And I think they're just saying, we want Elise on our team. It's an aggressive jungler for Bono. It's down his lane. It's something he's comfortable with. But once you put all the pieces together, it's kind of like that jigsaw piece that's obviously out of position. And you're like, huh, well, this picture didn't really come together too well. So definitely an interesting decision at the end of the draft. But we'll see if Bono can try to make something happen with his awkward lanes. The bottom lane after that win with the kill. It did go the way of Irove, by the way.
But no, the thing here is that they... Okay, Soan is getting a bit annihilated up in top lane in terms of the trades anyway. He's going to be down teleport now. And Sword, if he does it right,
sniped.
Should be able to recall into tier 2 boots and just run back to the lane without using teleport. Soan, it looks like he doesn't even try to get a freeze. Now, the thing in bottom lane is that Viper has accrued a very small CS advantage. I believe that it's 3 right now if aiming gets all the CS, and this is a problem. So they're not achieving anything here. They're continuing to poke Ezreal Senna, but there's not going to be a dive that's possible. Your Pantheon doesn't have priority in mid lane. He doesn't have level 6 yet. You know that the Elise is going to be on the right-hand side. Just push in the wave, get your recall off, come back, pull the waves in, and then try to poke and threaten when you know that the Elise must then path to the other side of the map. But instead, we're having this ping pong that is achieving nothing, but it feels good.
Yeah, they're in control of the lane. Maybe they feel it's a little bit easier to CS, but it's not actually a good thing for the way it's going here. As they are going to poke Tucson pretty well, getting aggressive now as UCal, but Kuro not really taking that fight. He's going to miss that Q, unfortunately. Does UCal in the mid lane. More poking coming down. This is really annoying for the bottom lane, but remember that aiming does have TP at least, so you can try to get back here extremely fast.
And Bono, you just see, I mean, even though Tarzan not doing a whole bunch, neither is the Elise able to really achieve anything. And in the later stages of the game, it's just going to get better and better. As now Senna is going to end up recalling, the teleport coming in and helping out Ezreal. Now they did get a turret plate.
They got a couple.
Yeah, they have 2 down in bot lane.
Yeah.
Azir still hasn't achieved anything yet. So on up here in top lane, somehow ahead in XP. By...
Not sure exactly how that happened. He did go back and pick up the tier 2 boots and get there on time. I was watching that after you mentioned it, but for some reason he is down. And I think Soan actually might have been able, when Sword went back, I think there were like 2 or 3 minions that were still pushing into Soan, and I think he denied some XP that way. And pretty clever maneuver.
Oh, cannon!
Oh! I quit.
Yeah.
It's over.
Word comes down by Gnar. And we are in an indefinite lull state here, okay? We are... Something is just not quite... Now, the reason that they don't go for the flash W into flash Talia seismic shove is because Kuro has cleanse. So, to chain it all together...
What a smart guy.
Yeah, it would be pretty difficult. They're gonna move their attention now over to the Mountain Dragon though, and they'll pick that up. And everyone, viewers, you, I, we're all hoping for a Cloud Dragon to come up second.
Let's all hold hands. 33%, 33.3 repeating, of course. If you will, we might see some Leroy Jenkins a little bit later on in this game. It's not a Cloud Drake. Oh boy,
this is not looking good.
Man.
Now we have a 50%.
This is definitely unfortunate. No one likes the Cloud Soul.
We have a new name for it here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what's that?
Clown Soul.
Oh.
A.K.A. Pennywise.
Never heard of that one.
Yeah, you never heard of that one?
Yeah, it's really original.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thought of it myself.
What is Cloud9's new meme name now that they never lose?
Crown 9?
Oh, okay.
Maybe
Because
that.
they used to be Clown 9, right?
Yeah, now they're Crown 9. Or maybe not. I mean, Crown left North America.
True.
And
That
maybe
was a little
people
bit
would
sad.
think of that. Yeah, that is sad. So maybe people would think of that. Maybe that's not the best name to actually use.
Yeah.
Not sure.
We'll have to put our minds to the test and see if we can come up with it.
Why did he just... it doesn't matter.
I think that middle
Oh, no,
guy
he's going to die
it
anyway.
is
All
gonna
right,
die. Okay,
saved.
good
Saved.
RNG. Good. Well done. He's been practicing his RNG. It's really good stuff. He's able to mind control the minions to attack the right one.
That is a...
It's still going to push into aiming and Tucson.
Yeah, special talent.
Yeah. And, well, yeah, it's been kind of interesting. You know, you highlighted the Elise early on and how it really wasn't able to do much in the game. It visited top once when Sword wasn't there because, I mean, he had to stay near bot and mid to try to help out if a 2-on-1 happened to mid or if, you know, they got dived down in bottom side.
And it's not able to do stuff because its lanes don't allow it to do anything. So, again, the question becomes, why are you picking it? In a really weird, messed up world, Karthus would even probably be better here. Even though the enemy's going to get magic resistance, he'd still probably have infinitely more impact than an Elise would. So, at this point, Griffin, they're going to end up getting the Rift Herald. Infernal coming up in 2.5 minutes. They have the priority on the lane swap. I always talk about this, though. Pay attention to the minion waves that can end up being lost while you're doing this. Sword now down here in bot lane. Going to be able to use that Haymaker shield to absorb some of the damage.
They were also dominating so hard. Okay.
You know what? In
I don't know what.
No, the intent was good. The intent was good.
Okay.
So the issue there is he has the tier 2 boots, he has the Phage, but the execution of it was really bad. So you want to have the movement speed from the Phage, the tier 2 boots. You can flash, do the E-pull, and if you get the stun, you can actually manage to get behind
and then
the enemy
alter back
and then alter backwards
into
into
the
the
turret.
turret. But obviously, Tushin able to respond to that one. You can also do it with the slow, depending on the exact spacing that you get. It really depends. But a little sloppy on the execution.
Yeah, I mean, we have this rotation. It also allows Aiming and Tucson, who are getting bullied so hard in bottom lane, to have a breath of fresh air and say, hey, let's push bot, let's get Aiming some farm. He gets a couple of turret plates and has a good time. Although now they've left him down in bottom lane alone, as Ucal is going to take a bunch of poke damage. Tarzan having to come in here and help him out.
One of the things that's really peculiar here is Tarzan, he has the Rift Herald, and he hasn't used it yet. There's a minute and a half until the turret plates expire. We see this sometimes in the LCK. They'll get the Rift Herald and then not use it until after turret plates fall. And it is it's one of the most bewildering things that you can ever witness.
That's very, very strange. I don't know if he's actually going to do that here. You know, he wanted to save it for the top side, but... Or not for the top side, but they had a push going in the top side, and he thought he didn't need it, so he was like, oh, maybe I could use it somewhere else. But where exactly is he going to use it? He's hanging around mid, looking to clear out some vision here with Iroh.
And they're reinitiating the lane swap here just to be in close proximity, get the leg up for the Infernal Dragon. They want to make sure that they get it. Very important for their team composition. Varus with the Umbral Glaive. I think this item is so underappreciated, by the way. It's just so great at clearing everything out. So fast. Now the Rift Herald coming down here. They're going to get first turret of the game, as well as all these plates allocated onto Viper. Gets all of this solo.
Tarzan got a couple of the plates split with him, actually, from the Rift Herald. But they're looking to try to turn it here. Wow, the flash on in confidently. Tarzan able to put Tucson in the grave. Well, we were all on disengage mode there for KT, obviously, as he just wanted to get them away from him, and he succeeded, even if it went wide. But that does mean that the Infernal Drake is going to go the way of Griffin after a nice little play out of Tarzan.
Ooh, Tarzan moving out of the way. True Shot Barrage ends up getting some assistance from the Ezreal. And the longer that this game goes, it's going to come down to, can Ezreal eventually make it 2, 3, 4 items, and what can Kuro really do? Let's take a look here at the replay. Tarzan flashes over, Seismic Shove onto the Senna. Elise has flash. I think he said let's do Dragon?
Yeah. Dragon, go Dragon. And it is not a Cloud Soul, it is a Ocean Soul, actually. So things are getting prettier here.
Yeah, I think that is definitely a Pog, maybe even a Pog U.
Oh. Now don't get too ahead of yourself.
Yeah. We're gonna get a Cloud Soul next game now for doing that.
We
Black Cleaver on set.
They can actually pick it up. Yeah.
Now, okay. I'm gonna go out on. You know what? I'm gonna defend this one.
Okay.
Only because there is 2 lethality users on the side of Griffin.
Do you think now?
So the absolutely pathetic amount of armor that is being shred is still valuable for those champions, and they're the real carries on the team, especially because all of the CC on the side of KT is able to lock up set, and he's even with Trinity Force and repositioning and stuff like that, he's not going to be the one that needs to be dealing damage at all. And even if the person that he hits, it's probably going to be single target, most likely, because you have 4 ranged champions on the side of KT. As long as they get hit by the Varus and by the Pantheon, probably end up being beneficial. Black Cleaver sucks, but there is 2 lethality users.
So let me ask you, do you think he factored all of that in when he made the purchase?
I have no idea. I'm not psychic.
Because we've seen many Black Cleaver purchases go astray when they didn't necessarily make sense, but it feels like almost by accident they have happened upon a good instance in which it actually kind of does make sense. In this position, we'll be able to have a nice amount of burst damage and pretty much doing true damage with 3 different members on their team. Although, really, the real carry of the blue team right now is Karma with the 2 kills.
True.
Finished the Grail.
And we'll just see what happens. I mean, right now, Griffin, they're going to pick up Shirley. They're going to end up getting that one. They'll wait until the next Ocean Dragon. They just have to wait on their core item completions. Now, if they really want to suffocate KT, I think going double Umbral Glaive would actually be okay. We see that there's still a Longsword in Yukal's inventory, and he does have the Warhammer. So he has option to go into Umbral Glaive along with the Varus. And at that point, if you have double Sweeper Lens plus double Umbral, it's so hard for KT to have any sort of vision. And against a poke pick composition like Griffin's, that can be a little problematic, but there's lots of ways to scout brushes, like using the Ezreal Qs, the Azir Soldiers, Elise Voidlings, Senna's skill shots. You know, the more I go down the list, I start to realize
Nar
that
also has a boomerang. What is that thing that he throws out?
But
that is a boomerang, right?
If KT is very uncoordinated, it can be nice.
Say boomerang. Just like Nar is a boomer champion.
A boomerang?
Yeah, boomerang.
It's a very weird way to talk about the U.S. elections.
Yeah, I don't know. Just thought I'd sneak that one in there.
All
but
right.
we'll have to see if KT actually puts up a fight here at this first Ocean Drake that's about to spawn. Still waiting on Elise to do something in this game, by the way. Really hasn't found much at all.
It's a nice little recall for Pantheon.
Yeah.
Black Cleaver finally picked up by Sword. Yumu's Ghostblade, first item actually for the Pantheon. Has the blue trinket, surely still available as well. And you can see that Elise went Merc Treads actually as her item of choice. And it is a little interesting what's going on.
I suppose would be
Ocean.
okay against the Talia.
10 seconds.
I don't know if she's going to survive a full burst combo if the CC chains come in, but I suppose maybe that's what she's trying to avoid.
The thing is even with the tenacity, if Set or Pantheon get onto you, you're probably dead anyway.
You're dead, yeah. So it might be better to be proactive and look for the penetration.
And KT are handshaking this.
Yeah.
They
They're
lose
going
the fight
for
every day of the week.
Okay, trying to turn this one down south. UCal gonna miss the engage, and now Sword not able to get one of his own as that will miss from KT. Griffin able to get in and get out, essentially, zoning KT away from the Dragon. They take down the Ocean, and now we're on Soul Point here for the side of Griffin.
Yeah, and this is a very early Soul Point, and Ocean is absolutely a Dragon that can just end the game. So, very scary situation here for KT. No Morellos on the horizon or Executioner's Calling going to be coming up. Tier 1 turret is going to get raised by KT. As now it's going to be smooth sailing. Yumu's Ghostblade picked up by Viper. And now we're back to the little save Elvis, so.
Yeah, I mean, we had our Dragon fight, and now we have 4 minutes until the next one.
All right.
Realistically, though, that's the way a lot of these games have been going.
Fellas, if you could buff one champion in the game, what would it be?
Well, I mean, it's hard not to be biased when you ask a question like that. Let's buff Talia.
Really? I would buff
Well, I
Teemo.
play Talia all the time.
I would actually buff Teemo. I think he's so close to being competitively viable. He's just not quite there.
I mean, Tarzan played him. Or not Tarzan. Viper played him. Getting my Griffin members mixed up. We have seen it in pro play.
Teemo is so close to coming back. He just needs a little bit of lovin'.
You know, I think what he needs is a couple more skins. I think if he gets maybe 1 to 3 more skins, it's kind of like the low to high range there. I think maybe we will see some players pick him up. I mean, how can you resist?
I think if he just had 50 more range.
I mean, they're not that expensive. It's only like $9.99. See how I turned that one into
Depends how you look at it, yeah.
into a sellout moment. And this game is going to be interesting because I think it's going to come down to KT trying to scale up with I almost said Azale. Azir and
Azale is literally a world champion.
yeah, I heard about that, yeah.
And Azir is literally a champion of his people.
Yeah.
So
and he is literally just a champion as well.
I feel like some guy got the translation wrong when making the champion Azir, and that it was actually made after Azale. Right.
Maybe it was.
Yeah.
And you've unlocked the secret.
Right.
Yeah, that could be it.
I feel like that's actually what's going on here. So, that's all.
Yeah.
Shurima sounds like an instance from WoW.
Could be.
Could be.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like it could be.
Yeah. The, like, Shurima Halls or something like that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Or just Shurima.
Just Shurima.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of instances that are named like that.
Naxxramas.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the one.
Alright.
Yeah. Encourage. I mean, that's
Yeah.
somewhat similar,
There
I
we
guess.
go. Hold on, let me...
Yeah.
Ice Crown Citadel. That's sort of a...
Yeah. it's
I
like
mean, you
Black
just
Wing
call it
Lair.
Ice Crown. Alright?
Well, we got a minute and a half left before, you know, KT actually are hitting some nice timings here with their Ezreal on 2.5 items with the QSS, ready to go for the next fight. They got Azir with also 2.5 items, slowly scaling up. I think if they don't get hard engaged, KT still have a chance to take a fight, and they really need to if they do not want to give the Ocean Soul away, because if the Ocean Soul goes the way of Griffin, I feel like the game might just end, regardless of what kind of scaling KT has with that Azir.
Whoa! It's a bit of damage. That is absolutely just a wee bit. Okay.
Did you say weeb?
A wee bit. Why?
I just thought you said weeb.
Oh, no.
QSS coming into really good effect there.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Tushin has one more arrow left in him.
He's backing. He's done.
He is backing. As right now, KT, they're going to be in this stalemate, and Ezreal is very good at dishing back poke, and Tushin being forced to reset is a little unfortunate, but he does still have time, and oddly enough, Griffin did not path into the river in order to get the scuttlecraft. So they elected to actually go inside the red side jungle so that they could mind control KT into thinking that they had the low ground. But really, this was just an anticipation for the grand Skyfall, which is about to come in.
Okay, not going to be stolen here as this grand Skyfall will come in, but a huge play out of the Emperor's Divide. Now trying to turn it around here is KT. Not going to happen, but the Sniperino coming out of Viper. Unbelievable damage out of that Varus right now. He's able to put that Azir in the death chamber. Now just trying to run away here is KT. Nice cocoon out of Bono, but that's really all he's got left in the tank. So on, never really able to find that engage, as at least they avoid the Ocean Soul, but we're beginning to see the power of that Lethality Virus coming in.
And the cool thing about Lethality is that there's more items now to end up purchasing. He'll probably end up getting a Duskblade of Drakthar as his next item. And Pantheon going with the Black Cleaver himself. So now if that was going to be the case, I'm not sure why Set would end up having the Black Cleaver then. That would be the way that he's going to go, the itemization route, as, yeah, that was... I'm not sure what that just was. And we're at 26.5 minutes. The Forbidden Book picked up on Taliyah. I think that given how Taliyah is gonna team fight in a lot of these instances, I really don't think that the Morello healing reduction is worth it by any means. I know that there's a Senna. I'm aware that there is an Athene's Unholy Grail. I'm aware that Gnar has Fleet Footwork, but for almost the same amount of gold, you could have completed a Haunting Guise, started moving towards Liandry's, and there are champions building some HP on the side of KT.
Yeah.
Gnar obviously has a massive amount of it.
Also, Taliyah's, I feel like, one of these champions that's really good
with Madness.
With Madness.
Yeah.
Specifically. She's just always constantly attacking, so you stack it up so fast. It's such a great item on her. And
so the question ends up becoming, is the Grievous Wounds, does it deal more than Haunting Guise Madness? The 10%, does it end up reducing more, but also does it curve out better? Because while he does have the Morello right now, we have 2.5 minutes until an Ocean Dragon comes up, so if you factor in some CS that he can pick up, you could probably get to a Blasting Wand as well. And all things considered, there's just not a lot really going on.
Yeah, just waiting in between the Drakes here. I know that KT is not necessarily trying to start any fights for now, but either way, we do have Griffin not really able to force anything either, as the gold pretty even when it does come down to it. We got 2 minutes until that one. Oh, KT gonna try to accelerate things on the Baron. We see the blue trinket is used up in the north side. They have no idea. Irove is finally gonna come in here. He's got Mancer Q. Mancer Q, can he do it? Can they steal it? No, they cannot. The smite will come in. And even if Bono goes down, it does not matter. And there you go. It is going to be Baron going the way of KT. And now this game could certainly extend, as KT will have a lot of map pressure with this buff and should be able to start taking some drakes.
They're going to have the stats bolstering them as well. Now, Ocean coming up in a minute and 20. It should still be Griffin that should be able to get into position. The Baron, it helps out in so many different ways. It's not just the gold in mitigating some of the pressure that Griffin's able to exert, but also the XP that comes from it. Kuro is up 2 levels in mid lane, aiming even with Viper. Tushin even with Irove. So on up a level as well on Sword. The only level advantage present right now on Griffin is actually Tarzan.
Yeah.
And so this is just a complete blunder all around. Duskblade of Drakthar picked up by Viper, as well as the Mortal Reminder. So right now, no Edge of Night, actually.
That's pretty insane. I mean, Senna does have some sustainability, but it's an insane amount of poke here, and they're doing this all.
Burst the dragon.
Yeah, they're doing this all right before the dragon spawns.
Suffocate the choke point right where UCal is right now with just a Chains of Corruption, or you have Set run at it and sacrifice himself with the suplex. Talia Wall, burst the Drake. So all that they need to do right now is just start it up immediately. Talia Wall.
Nope.
Sacrifice the member and burst.
Not going to happen, but Kuro is in an awkward spot. Does have the stopwatch here, trying to flash away, but he's going to go down.
He died. And that's going to be Ocean.
Okay, Zohan, again, stopwatch is going to stop him as they're trying to burst down the front line, but a huge amount of damage from the set. And the Varus right behind him. Another follow-up there with the seismic shove, and Griffin looking for more even, as aiming is going to be able to get away. At the end of this all, they still have their Ezreal with red and blue buff. Will they try to stop this here? They got TP coming in. It doesn't look like it's possible, and Ocean Drake should go to Griffin.
Yeah, Ocean Drake is absolutely going to go to Griffin, and with that, it should be the game.
Okay, trying to lock down Tucson here. He's just going to die. Gets hit by the Chains of Corruption, and after that, really had no chance to get away. So, Senna not having a fun time against this lethality Varus in this game.
And you can see Sword on the right-hand side, not really sure what Kuro was thinking. I think that he completely blanked on what Set's abilities maybe are, and that UCal also in close proximity. So I think we saw why Shurima fell.
Oh.
Back in the day. Maybe it was decisions like that one that could have played a part. Set's Haymaker doing insane amounts of work. Seismic shove by the Talia, able to lock up Sohan as well. And with that, that is going to be the game. Grand Skyfall coming in as well as Viper. He missed one arrow, and he said, you know what? Just needed to line her up for the second one.
Yeah, line her up, take her down, as there was a flash available, or at least there should have been, for Tucson. It's possible it just came up in recent time. But either way, he decides it's not worth it, not going to get away from that one. So he does go down for the third time in this game. Currently, no kills for the side of KT. It's all been Griffin so far. KT playing relatively passively in this game, as there feels like they can't get near the Varus. I mean, this is just ridiculous. He's going to lock him down again. That's another kill just sitting in the lane. It's not even like they're engaging or anything. And down you go again. No more support Santa.
Well, volley god taketh, volley god giveth. Sometimes, but this time he's taking.
Yeah.
As the demonic spirit of that bear is not present in Tushin in this game. Senna just not having the best of games here.
Trying to turn on UCal. Looks like he should die. Doesn't have flash here. Poke's coming out. Need another arcane shift out of aiming. He's gonna miss. Okay, they chase him all the way down the river, and they finally get him, but the inhibitor is going to die. Potentially looking to surround them here. Not sure if this will actually work out. Not much damage coming out of the True Shot Barrage.
UCal being dead means this would probably be the best possible chance that KT could have taken to fight. Maybe there's a way. You see the ward that Sword just walked by. Perhaps there's actually a way that Sohan could have teleported onto that and they could have looked for a collapse. Let's take a look at this. As Chains of Corruption, I got him. And up here, the replay, Kuro shuffling UCal right back. UCal shouldn't have flashed, he should have just died. Him dying doesn't change anything on the map. It's not like an objective is lost, it's not like anything meaningful happens. So, flashing away is just a waste of a summoner spell. Does end up picking up the Guardian Angel now.
Yeah, and it's hard to see really a direction by which KT can try to come back into this one. We do have Exodia coming up here in 2.5 minutes. The Elder Drake, very, very close. As now looking for another angle here is Sword. Unseen for now, is going to find Sohan. Small little jump there. Not going to amount to too much.
Well, at this point, Griffin, they're just posturing, and I'm not sure if they're going to wait until the Elder Dragon comes up. Right now, they're just waiting on core items. And realistically, Griffin are in a spot where they really can't lose. They push in top wave. Obviously, Azir going to go over to answer that. They might wait for the Elder Dragon to come up as a means to fork KT, utilizing both major neutrals. But instead, they're actually just going to Grand Skyfall in. Aiming ends up going down. UCal now chasing down Bono. On the left-hand side, Kuro trying to do what he can to dish out some damage onto UCal, and maybe Griffin is just saying, this is going to be the end of the game. They have super minions acting as buffer. Doesn't help out as much against Azir as it would against an Ezreal, but still helps against the Elise. The Cocoon not able to hit. Weaver's Wall comes out, not really going to do a whole bunch, but remember the Ocean Soul is present for Griffin. The healing is absolutely ginormous. Super Minion re-arriving, aiming, coming up in 15 seconds. Can Kuro hold? And Set just dealing such an insane amount of damage. Sword with the face breaker onto several champions. Superplexing Kuro back into his team. Last Nexus turret going to fall here as the Nexus is going to go down as well. And that is going to be game number 1 going over to Griffin in a really decisive manner. And if you're Griffin right now, you're probably feeling really good. They started off the game by getting the kind of control and tempo that they wanted in bottom, and they never really let it go by any means. Varus pick obviously working out really well. The Elise not really doing so much. The team composition for KT a little bit misaligned, and we saw issues of it throughout early and mid-game. Kuro having some questionable plays. There was a glimmer of hope with them getting the Ocean Dragon, stalling the game out, eventually sneaking the Baron as well, but then Kuro threw it all away inside that blue side jungle play that he tried to make, not acknowledging that Sword could just bring him back in, and the Pantheon there as well to follow up. So right now, they're going to deliberate between games, wonder how they're going to assess the situation. And the unfortunate thing now for KT is Griffin's going to be the one going to red side, so they're going to have the counter picks available however they deem fit. And to get out-muscled in this game as well as having the losing draft on red side is really unfortunate if you are a KT fan. Griffin looking pretty clean in this game number 1. Valdez is currently not with us right now. He, I think Morello got to him. That's all I'm gonna say there. So. Should have built Leandri's. Anyways, though, game number 2, Griffin and KT is going to be coming up next. We'll see if any substitutions are actually made, or if they can just get maybe a better matchup for aiming and Tushin down in bottom. They picked the Senna early. I don't think that that was bad by any means, but then they picked the Ezreal into the Varus Karma, which was really bizarre because they self-counterpicked themselves there. They end up having a very useless Elise that they picked early on, and so the draft is all around very questionable. I think that the initial R1, R2, R3 is really okay against Set in a vacuum, but that's not the way that you want to end up drafting it. There's the damage on Varus, as he did more than his whole team combined. So that is, I mean, it's all right. It's an okay amount of damage. I gave the MVP over to him, as well as I voted for Valdez as well. I'm not quite sure if they're going to actually count that vote or not. Maybe we're only going to have an 8-vote POG. And this is my first time doing this, so you know, trying to wing it. Leandri's is only 3,100 gold. You can pick that up in the shop. Don't be misguided by the book. And we're gonna go to a short break. Hopefully I can find Valdez. Hopefully he's doing okay. We'll see you for game number 2.
타워 쳐야 돼. 아지르 노플. 다음 웨이브 20초야. 20초.
앨리스 없어.
20초.
아니 이즈리얼 없어.
타워 때리는 쪽으로 봐라.
오케이 타워 때리는 쪽.
아지르 노플이야.
끝.
타워.
잘해야 된다. 타워.
나를. 타워.
필요 없어. 타워. 침착해.
침착해.
이거 나 한타 중에 큐 빠졌어 키보드.
아 진짜로?
에이스
레전드.
이겼다. 큐 빠져서 빠진 걸로 눌러서 썼다.
후반에 이거 3렙 타이밍이 너무 늦어져가지고